Forget the devil. Forget the forked tongue and the cheap deals for your soul. True terror isn't a choice. It isn't a temptation you can resist. True terror is a sound, a vibration in the air that freezes the blood in your veins and tells you, without a single word, that your life is already over. It is the cold, silent presence of a power so absolute, it doesn't even see you as a person, only as a thing to be corrected, a message to be delivered, or a body to be broken. This is not the story of a demon. This is the story of an angel. The fear of Satan is the fear of falling, of giving in to your own weakness. But there are ancient, buried stories that speak of a different fear, a fear not of corruption, but of finality, a fear of the Archangel Gabriel. These aren't the stories you hear in church. They depict a being of such terrifying and irreversible power that even the devil seems like a lesser threat, because you can fight the devil, but you cannot fight a divine sentence. The price of a choice versus the horror of none. To understand this terror, you have to understand the devil's game. He's a parasite of choice. He whispers at the crossroads, offering power, knowledge, a way out. He thrives on your doubt, your desire, your what-ifs. The fear he inspires is the fear of your own failure, the sickening worry that you might be weak enough to fall for his trick. But underneath it all is a comforting lie. You have a say in the matter. The devil needs your permission. He needs you to open the door. Now, erase that idea completely. Imagine a being who doesn't need the door. Imagine a being who walks through the wall and stands before you, radiating a power that makes your bones ache. This is the Archangel Gabriel. His name in Hebrew, Gabriel, means strength of God. He is not a negotiator. He does not offer deals. Gabriel is a living, breathing, divine fact. When he appears, your choices are over. Your will is irrelevant. A decision has been made in a courtroom you cannot see, and he is merely the executioner of the verdict. And that is a far more intimate and soul-crushing terror. The fear of Satan is that your will might be corrupted. The horror of Gabriel is that your will never mattered at all. The body-breaking revelation. The Bible itself struggles to contain the sheer, physical horror of this angel's presence. When he appears to the prophet Daniel, it isn't a gentle meeting. It's a biological assault. Daniel sees a vision that leaves him shattered, and then a voice cuts through reality, commanding, "Gabriel, make this man understand." As the angel moves closer, Daniel collapses. He writes, "I was terrified and fell prostrate." This wasn't reverence. This was his body shutting down. Another vision is even more graphic. An angelic figure, often linked to Gabriel in ancient tradition, appears, and its description is one of pure, elemental horror. Its face was like lightning, its eyes like flaming torches. The sight was so traumatizing that Daniel's companions fled in blind panic, not even knowing what they were running from. Daniel was left alone, and he says, "I had no strength left. My face turned deathly pale, and I was helpless." His body betrays him. He literally passes out. Every cell in his being screaming as it's overwhelmed by the raw, unfiltered power of this celestial being. He wasn't just seeing an angel. He was experiencing a presence so absolute that his human form began to break apart. This isn't about faith, it's about physiology, and it gets worse. When Gabriel appears to the priest Zechariah to announce a miracle, Zechariah dares to question him. He asks, "How can I be sure of this?" Gabriel's response isn't a reassurance, it's a mutilation. "I am Gabriel, and now you will be silent." Instantly, Zechariah's throat constricts. His tongue turns to lead in his mouth. He tries to speak, to scream, to make a sound, but nothing comes out. His skepticism earned him 9 months of being trapped inside his own skull, his voice stolen from him. Gabriel didn't argue, he simply deleted a function. His authority wasn't just absolute, it was biological. The Destroyer's task. But to witness the true, monstrous face of Gabriel, you must look where the church forbids you to go, the apocryphal Book of Enoch. This text, considered too terrible for scripture, was wildly influential in the ancient world, and it shows a much grislier cosmic order. In Enoch, God looks down upon a world infested. Fallen angels known as the Watchers have corrupted humanity and birthed monstrous offspring, the Nephilim. The world is screaming, drowning in violence and chaos. So the archangels are called forth, not to save, but to cleanse. To Gabriel, God issues a command of unimaginable cruelty. Chapter 10 gives the order, "Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and destroy the children of the Watchers from amongst men." But it's how he's told to do it. Send them one against the other that they may destroy each other in battle. Let that sink in. Gabriel isn't just ordered to kill them. He is tasked with turning them on one another. He must infect their minds, turning their unnatural alliances into a frenzy of self-destruction. He must orchestrate a supernatural civil war, where abominations tear their own brothers and fathers apart, limb from limb. This is not the gentle messenger of Christmas. This is Gabriel the exterminator, the angel of annihilation. He isn't just delivering a message of judgment. He is the gruesome mechanism of that judgment, a divine artist painting a masterpiece of slaughter. The horror of the void. Ultimately, the deepest, most paralyzing fear of Gabriel is what he represents, the psychological horror of an absolute, indifferent force. The devil, for all his malice, is tragically human. His motives, pride, jealousy, rebellion, are passions we can comprehend. We understand what he wants. He's a monster, but he's a monster with a personality. Gabriel, in these terrifying portrayals, is something else entirely. He is a function, a program, a walking silent void. When he strikes Zechariah mute, there is no anger or cruelty, any more than an earthquake feels anger when it topples a city. He is simply correcting an error in the system. The horror is realizing you are not in a battle for your soul. You are a bug in a divine code, and Gabriel is the patch that will erase you. Pleading with him is like begging a hurricane to change course. The fear of the devil is personal, but the fear of Gabriel is the cosmic, impersonal horror of realizing you are utterly insignificant. You are a stray cell in the path of a divine radiation that is cleansing the organism. He is not your enemy, you are simply in the way. That is why prophets collapsed. That is why their bodies failed them. They weren't just seeing an angel. They were staring into the cold, emotionless, and terrifyingly certain will of God made flesh. Over the centuries, art and religion have sanded down his edges, giving us a gentle, palatable messenger. But the old stories refuse to die. They remind us that while the devil might tempt you down a dark path, the true terror is Gabriel arriving to announce that your path, your will, and your very existence have already been terminated. The most terrifying sound in the universe isn't a demonic roar. It is the perfect, beautiful, and utterly final silence of heaven's judgment. These are the stories hidden in the margins and buried in forbidden texts. If you have the stomach to uncover more of these terrifying truths, subscribe now and activate the notification bell. What part of Gabriel's story do you find the most terrifying? Let us know in the comments below.